This content is supported by Tier 0 Games. Check out the website in the description and use discount code YAZZY5YGJOE. Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. And on today we have Kian Blakey returning to the channel. This time, instead of with an Altergeist tech strategy that beats Call by the Grave, he's bringing on a 60-card Orcust list that made top 8 at the recent Stockton regional in the UK, the first regional of this season. So let's take a quick look at the list now. You can see we have a whole host of random engines in here. We've got the Danger Package, Cyber Dragons, Pancratops, Gizmex, Kaiju, the Strudo engine for the Yazzie, Hydralanders, the typical Orca stuff, Scrap Recyclers are the other card sending stuff. Tenny engines in here, Signet Minings, grab the Ibly 2. Instant Fusion, Slumber, Mind Control, just everything in here. Shadol Fusions too. Just all the ways to out the opponent's board and get yourself some monsters on top of that. The extra deck is pretty interesting. It's got the usual lineup of suspects. It's missing a Nightmare Cerberus because the space is just so tight. He has to fit in the fusion for the Cyber Dragon, so he's gone for a Fortress Dragon here. And for the side deck, Triple Lancia to beat those Thunder and mostly Orcust decks. Orcust is proving really popular in the UK, certainly in the UK regional season at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how this evolves when we move on to the YCS events. Spell and Trap removal coming in via Twisters and a Trisbana, and then some Floodgates with Fragrance, some more removal with Evenly, another Floodgate with Imperial Order, and Triple Red Reboot for all the back decks, which are typically a bit of a struggle for the Orcust list. So that's it for the deck list. You can grab a copy in the description, and let's bring on Kian and discuss this list. Okay, so how was the event overall for you?
It was half decent, other than the little upset round 1. It was quite enjoyable all the way through, and I'm happy that I got my first top.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Your first top?
Yep.
Nice. You decided to take this obvious, massive 60-card list with loads of engines packed into this. So, why did you decide to take this deck in the first place?
Well, originally I was going to take Paleozoic Frog, but then when I went to Brotherhood, the deck didn't perform as well as I wanted to. So I thought, might as well try and just go back to my favourite deck from a few months ago. It was Burning Abyss, where you just have hundreds of different cards just to break boards and just push through.
Yep. I mean, this is the new adaptation on that, I guess.
Yeah, it feels a lot like that deck, and it's really enjoyable to play.
Cool. So with this particular build, the one that you took, you played quite a lot of 2-ofs. Was there a particular reason for that? Is that just for the Hydralander, or is there something more?
Kind of for Hydralander, but with 2-ofs, I didn't really want to see more than one in hand. And it sounds a bit stupid with a 60-card deck. That's not going to happen a lot. But in my testing, it happens enough for me not to want it.
Yep, okay. That's fair enough. I mean, there are so many different options you have, right, that it's possible to stack this deck with loads of 2-ofs anyway.
Yeah, and for 2-ofs, which, like the Pancratops and the Cyber Dragon, they're really powerful cards where some people would play at 3 if I was going to play them, but for me, seeing them as a 2-of in a 60-card deck, seeing them enough, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm. So actually, on the topic of Cyber Dragon, I wanted to ask something. So you played 2 Cyber Dragon in the main,
Yes.
and then the one Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon in the extra. So this is the one that lets you get rid of a whole board of machines, basically.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you didn't want to play the Mega Fleet instead, just in case you went up against a deck that didn't have machines on the field?
So the whole idea of playing Cyber Dragon was because I expected the roles of Orcust and Striker.
Okay. Yeah.
Against Orcust, the Fortress is a lot better because you just take away the whole field.
Mm-hmm.
And in Striker, it does the same thing as the Mega Fleet.
Yeah, practically the same, yeah.
it didn't really come up in other matchups. To be honest with you, in the other matchups where it didn't come up, it was just there as another body.
Okay. Yeah, I guess in like the Salamangreat matchup in particular, you don't really care, right? You just put another monster on board and attack over the Sunlight Wolf.
Yeah, I didn't even play any Salamangreat, and I'm really surprised that I didn't really hit any meta decks other than...
Well, we have quite a strange format at the moment, don't we? So,
Yeah. And it's strange because I saw there was a striker there. Last round opponent played against 4 striker in the first 6 rounds. And that was really surprising that I didn't go against any. And that's what mainly the kaiju were for the striker matchup and the Orcust matchup with some window.
Yeah, sure. Do you think, I mean, even though you didn't actually play against it on the day, do you feel like this deck has a good striker matchup in general?
Yeah, if you open up a Silent Mining or a Kaiju, or Ibli for that matter, just give it to them, and then you just make an unbreakable board, make Broadsword, and just push through. And for games 2 and 3, I would side him with Trisbania, so when I gave him a Kaiju, make Trisbania, and then...
Yeah, and then you just win. It seems crazy that we're in a position where you can make the Trisbana so readily with like so few cards.
Yeah, it's really easy to make, and I've changed my build up slightly where I'm actually maining the Trisbania because I've sided into it so many times.
So what did you take out for it then?
So I moved the Cyber Dragons to the side deck and the Fortress.
Okay, yeah, sure. Cool. So actually, I was going to say, with this extra deck, because you have so many engines in it, and I mean already it's this combination deck. Did you find that it was especially tight fitting stuff in? I mean, you didn't even have a Cerberus in here. Oh
yeah, it was really tight, and if I could, I would play Trisbania as well, and a Cerberus and a Unicorn.
Yeah.
But sadly, I can only have 15. But this lineup worked pretty well for me. Again, I would like to have one more in there, but...
Yeah. Well, so one thing we've seen from the Lunalight version of the deck is that a lot of them are dropping Dengisu down to 1. Maybe that's an option, but I guess it depends on how you play the deck.
Yeah, in the more pure Orcust build, I believe that you need 2 because it came up 3-4 times today. Oh, on the event.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Well, it's great spot removal, right? Why would you not play it?
And you can also hard make it using Mech and a Hydrolander. It's awesome.
True, yeah. Instantly you've got 2 materials under there for extra protection. That seems like a nice way to summon it too. So, obviously, you know, there are good ways to out Striker, and certainly good ways to out the mirror match with the Cyber Dragons and stuff, which you're saying you're moving to the side deck. But is there a particular deck that you find this build really struggles against?
Well, from my testing, I struggle slightly against the backrow decks game 1, unless I open Dad or Hydrolander.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can see that, because it's quite hard to get to, like, normally your removal is a Dengisu, right? And it's quite hard to get to that position against the backrow decks.
So, like I said, I moved up Trisbane into the extra deck, so hopefully by the game 1 against, like, Geist and Subterra will be a lot easier now.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable way to move forward. But you didn't consider any pure spell and trap removal, like Cyclones or Twisters in the main deck?
I was debating it, but then I thought to myself, what am I going to take out of this? Because right now, I had enough cards to play a 70 card deck. I had to put down 10 just to make it legal.
Yeah.
And probably what I would do is maybe cut a Gizmek and then maybe one of the spells, but it'll be rough. Like...
Yeah, I can see that. It's quite interesting actually that, you know, even though you've used the full capacity of 60 cards, it's still tight, because there are just so many great cards you can incorporate into the strategy.
Oh yeah, and people say to me, take out Dark Armed and Hydrolander,
Yeah.
because they see him as bricks, but I always make sure that my hand can summon them.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my round 6 match against True Draco, I went through, I think, 4 interruptions, which were 2 impermanents, 1 was Apocalypse, and a Apocalypse pop.
Yeah.
So I made Phoenix, he negated it, made Mermaid, he negated it, summoned Dad. That meant that he had to use 2 interruptions for Apocalypse to send a True King's Return, and then True King's Return to pop it.
Yeah.
And then that gave me my 5th monster for Hydrolander.
Yeah.
And then Hydrolander mill 3, which milled a Nightmare and a Skeleton.
Wow. That's pretty lucky, to be honest.
It was, and it was really funny.
Yeah, I mean that's the trade-off you take, right? You get these such insane mills sometimes off a Hydrolander, and then occasionally, every now and again, it's just very difficult to summon it. But yeah, it seems like you can generate a lot of value off it.
Oh yeah.
So I was going to say, because obviously the deck is so big, did you ever find that it was a struggle trying to fit in like sided cards, because you can only side the 15. Thankfully, one of them for this event was an extra deck card.
Yeah, there was times when I was struggling to take things out because a lot of them are just engine requirements, and most of the time it was a 2 Cyber Dragon coming out, or a Kaiju, or maybe a Hydrolander and a Gizmech.
Yeah.
Also, the old package when it wasn't against anything extra deck reliant, so like against a Draco, Shadows will be coming straight out.
True, yeah. It's a good way to deal with that, yeah. I think Matt mentioned it in his Brotherhood profile as well. You just like, there are quite a few engines that aren't very good against random decks, as you say, like True Draco, sometimes against Altergeist and things. So it's really the case of just taking out the stuff that happens to be bad.
Oh yeah, it's not ideal when you have him in your opening hand and you see you're going against like True Draco or Subterra.
Yeah.
But it's just risky to take, because in the matchups they do matter for, they have so much impact on the match, and they can just be a 1-card game winner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I guess that's a tough choice you have to make every single time.
And there was one instance when I had to make Windover high.
Oh, okay.
Because I went first against Crusader OTK and I opened the Shadow. So I just sat on Window for like 4 turns.
Wow. Oh, I mean, it's a floodgate, right? Can't bash the floodgate strategy.
Yeah, but sadly he activated Mystic Mine in his first turn, so I couldn't really do anything.
Well, at least neither player could play.
That is true, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, also at that point you've used up your main spell and trap removal, haven't you? Because the dragon's already gone, so...
My only out to Mystic Mine is Interrupted Kaiju-san.
Yeah. True. Cool. Are there any other comments you want to make on how the list might evolve in the future?
Most likely the Sub-Dragon's going to the side, and then maybe a 3rd Panktops and Hydrolander.
Cool. And are there any shoutouts you want to make?
First I want to shout out my team in pure order. We had 2 members of our team in the top 8 of this regional, so that's pretty cool. Shoutouts to my partner Ethan. Shoutouts to people who lend me cards like Aiden, Ashton. Trying to think now. Shoutouts to my locals, IQ Gaming, one of the best places to go.
Yep.
And then shoutouts to everyone else who I sadly forgot, because a bit tired at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. Nice. Well, thanks very much for coming on and sharing your list.
Yes, okay.
Congratulations on your top as well.
Thank you.
It's honestly like it's a really cool take on the deck. You just like incorporated so many engines, and to be honest, I'm really looking forward to seeing just how it works in the future, and if you can grab yourself another top with it.
Let's hope so, because we've got Ghent in a few days.
Yeah, Top Ghent, come back on.
I'll see you then.
Alright, thanks very much. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.